What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily. We're back for a Saturday. We got a hurt Magic, but he's here. We got a sleepy Papa Dude, but he's here. So this should be a hell of a show. Magic, how you doing, buddy? You're hurt today.
I thought it was from working out, but then I thought about it and he was like, you know what? Watching the Red Wings game last night was not good for anyone's health either. That was horrible. So, but I'm here. Try to bring the energy a little bit, but we'll see how long it lasts.
Okay, well, we're gonna figure it out. Papa Dude, here's the deal. It's a good day for you to be back on the show. It's all college basketball on the rundown. So it's all you today.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, let's get to it. Let's go Kansas and Houston first, Papa Dude. We talked about this one on our show. Kansas, we speculated might be 8.5, 9, 10-point underdog. They're 8.5. So Houston minus 8.5 here. Total sits at 138.5. What's going to happen in this one?
Well, I was scared of it. I'm always scared to take Kansas and take Houston over at Kansas when the spread's that big. I do think it could actually be worse than that. I think there's a possibility they romp them. Like you were saying Thursday night, we talked about it. They're going to be amped up for this. This is a big game for them. I'm assuming it's senior night there. I believe this is their last game of the year, regular season. You know Sampson's going to have them ready. This is a statement game for sure. So if I was going to bet it, I would go with the Cougars, but I was just a little bit afraid.
Again, it's always tough fading Kansas, like that with that many points. But yeah, you do think you got to think Houston's going to be ready to rock today. Magic, what do you think about this one?
Hey, just like my favorite horse at Penn National, like a Cougar, baby. Give me the Cougars. I think the over is a great way to go as well here. The Cougars have hit the over in 7 of their last 10 games. And Kansas has got one weapon that I think will allow them to score on Houston's defense. That's Hunter Dickinson. The guy's averaging 18 points a game, 11 rebounds per game. He scored 20 points the last time he faced the Cougars. So I think the over with the Cougars, Papa Dude and I are both on the same wavelength here.
All right, we're going to clean sweep it with the Cougars. We'll see what happens in this one, but I kind of think they're going to come out and play one of their best games of the year. And I on the flip side, I just don't think Kansas is a team that's going to, do it this year. They're not turning the corner like they usually do. It's way past time now. So give me the Cougars. All right, Papa Dude, Kentucky and Tennessee today. Tennessee 7.5-point favorites here at home. This total sits at 166.5. Who you got in this one?
This total is going down, by the way. I got it at 8, I think, or 8.5 early this morning. So it's trending downward. Everybody I follow took Kentucky, which is not necessarily a good sign. But I just think this is a game where Kentucky's going to go down. They may not win, but that's a lot of points against a Kentucky team that's playing a little bit better. If Tennessee covers this, I'm going to be ready to admit they're pretty dang good. I'm not quite there yet, so give me Kentucky and the points in this one.
All right, Kentucky and the points for you. What about you, Magic?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Kentucky and the points. I don't know if they necessarily win, but Tennessee's kind of got things mostly locked up here. And Rick Barnes, traditionally, I was reading the story today that traditionally his teams really don't do that well once it comes tournament time and clutch time. I know Texas got to the Final Four once, but that was 21 years ago. So, in the last 20 years, he's really had underperforming teams when it's not clutch in time. So, yeah, I'll go with Kentucky to at least cover here.
I think Tennessee beats them pretty easy. I'm gonna go Tennessee. I don't know. This team has really been pretty impressive the last 3 or 4 weeks. So
but you were all over Kentucky Thursday night.
I thought about it a little more. I thought, I don't know. I think
that's your first mistake. You're thinking too much.
That's true too. Yeah, that's true too. That's right. Well, it's not hockey, so I'm not betting it. So it doesn't really matter. All right, let's go to North Carolina and Duke here. This will be a battle. North Carolina got them earlier in the season in North Carolina. Now the return game. Duke is minus 5.5. Total sits at 150.5. All right, Papa Dude, who you got in this one?
Well, I chickened out. I think North Carolina is going to win it heads straight up. I really do. Chickened out, though. Stayed away from it because it is at Duke. 5.5. I am shocked. It's that many points. I think North Carolina's better. So if I was going to bet it, I would bet North Carolina for sure to beat that spread. Duke may win, but we were discussing this Thursday night too. We thought 2.5, 3 points, and it's 5.5.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I like North Carolina.
It seems like a lot of points in this rivalry. Magic, what do you think?
I'll take Duke just because they're at home here. They're 15-2 straight up, 11-6 against the spread at home. They're also 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games. North Carolina, they're middle of the road when they're on the road, and they're actually 4-6 against the spread in their last 10. So I'll take Duke because it's the home venue, but if it was anywhere else, I think I'd go North Carolina.
I'm going to go with North Carolina. With 5.5 points, I think it's too many, and I think they'll go in there. I think it'll be a close game. I'm going North Carolina. I'm going North Carolina plus the 5.5. It's too many. We talked about it on our show. It's too many. We thought maybe 3, 4, 5.5. I got to go with North Carolina. Win or lose, I just feel like that is the right number. All right, let's go to horse racing now. Let's go to the race of the day. It's the Tampa Bay Derby, race 11 there at Tampa Bay Downs. We'll kick it off with Magic here first on this one. What do you think, man?
So I went with the 5 domestic product. I think after the scratches, there's still a bunch of speed in here. And last time, No More Time, who is a slight favorite, got an easy gate to wire trip, but he also broke more inside than what he is going to be here. And one of the horses expected to be up front with him early is Ever Do It. He completely threw the jockey out of the gate and then jumped the outer rail. So one of the speed horses that was supposed to challenge your gate to wire winner was never a factor in that. As long as Ever Do It can keep Gallardo aboard, I see that Huber's like, I'm not touching that horse again. Gallardo's going to get aboard. I think with the 4 good money in there as well for Chad Brown, it's going to set up for the 5 domestic products. But a lot of ways you could go with this. I think the 9 Granmo, the first, isn't a crazy bet. You got the Barbosa, to get that horse going. And the breeding says, 2 turns on dirt should be good for him. Sturdy, a maiden in here. I think you could make a case for him to run a huge race as well. But I'm going to go with the 5 domestic product for my top pick.
All right, domestic product for Magic. He's going with the 5. Papa Dude, who you got?
Well, I didn't think I would see it. I'm assuming this is a Kentucky Derby prep, right?
Yes, correct.
I didn't think I'd see one worse than a Rebel, but I think I've just
it's rough.
This isn't a type of shit I've never seen. This is horrible.
It's rough. Yeah.
My God. Man, this 3-year-old division. I don't know. Nothing to get excited about. I agree with Magic. I do like the 5 a lot, but I went ahead and settled on the 7. And the key for the 7 is won twice, got the lead. That's what the horse has got to do. It's got to get the lead. There is speed in there that could give him some problems. I also, as a long shot, kind of like the 10 a little bit. Heartened. Finally broke the maiden the last time, won by 4.5. Pletcher horse, got to kind of look at him a little bit. But I would I don't see anything any better than the 7 and 5, and I'm going to go with the 7. No more time.
I think the 7, if he runs the race he ran in the Sam F. Davis, I don't really think this will be a close race. The biggest problem for me is he hadn't really run that well before, and so it's like, did he just kind of freak that day? Or is he going to run that same race again today? And if he is, I'm sorry, they're not going to beat him. They're just not. Like, he's better than the rest of these horses. His other races are not better, though. They're probably a little worse, if not right with them. So to me, it's like, well, this is the horse that's ran the best race out of all of them, so I'll take him. I went number 7, No More Time. I couldn't fully trust him, though. I'm going to go with a couple of other horses in here because of what I just said. You don't know. Like, he could show up and run 5th, and I wouldn't be shocked at all because he has been inconsistent. I thought the 4 for Chad Brown was the one you needed. The more I looked at it, I think the 5 is, if he wins, I'm not going to be shocked at all, but I don't think he's that good. And now neither is any of these horses. Like, none of them are any good. So that's the good news. If you're back in the 5, I mean, you got a great shot to win it, but I thought the 4 was interesting. Broke the maiden at Tampa, 2nd race now, obviously, for this horse. Irad gets aboard. There was enough for me to go, okay. I think the 4, I don't think we're going to get 15-1, but I think that horse may be the up and comer that can maybe upset this field. So I went 7, 4, 5. I literally just said, I don't think domestic product is any good. And then here he is in my top 3. It's so bad. This is so bad. It really, truly is bad. So I think the best scenario is the 7 runs that same race he did last time out in the Sam F. Davis, as far as, hey, we're trying to look for a good horse. then you can start to make the case that maybe he's pretty good. So that's kind of what I'm hoping happens, but we'll see. We'll see. It's another week, so we'll see what happens. All right, Magic. Let's go more horse racing here. Let's get to your best bet. Who you got?
Well, they're off the turf at Fairgrounds, which really kind of threw me because More Than Looks, if you remember, multiple stakes winner, graded stakes winner last year as the 3-year-old was making his 4-year-old debut against Allowance Company at Fairgrounds. Looked like a pretty great spot to get a winner there. So we're going to have to wait on that horse's return just a little bit longer. So instead, we're going to go back to Aqueduct, back for more justice for Linda Rice. We got it on Thursday with Talkin' Pharaoh. And now that Donkey's Orlando noticed problem, so have fun with that one, Orlando. But we're going back to Aqueduct, another Linda Rice horse that is running under her nephew's name, Adam Rice. He had Talkin' Pharaoh completely ready to run, as we saw on Thursday. Never in doubt. I think I got another one here. Hot Fudge. You got Kendrick Carmouche riding for the third straight time. Horse is riding a 5-race dirt win streak. The last 2 were in Stakes Company. Has beaten several of these horses, including Can't Hurry Love, who's the second choice in this spot. Her best race is by far better than anything that the rest of these horses have, and her last race was her best so far. 6 furlongs is where I'm like, all right, it's not. I think she's better at 7 or 8 furlongs, but she's clearly had no problems with 6 furlongs in the past. Has quite a few wins at the distance as well. So a filly who I guess she's a mare now. She's 5, 7 wins from 12 lifetime starts. Take out the 3 turf tries, and that's 7 wins from 10 starts on the dirt. She's super. It's still Linda Rice's horse, and we're going to keep the justice train rolling. Choo-choo!
All right. So Magic's going to go Aqueduct Race 8, number 5, justice for Linda. We'll see if we can do it again today. I'm going to go Santa Anita Race 6, number 4, Kinza. Oddly enough, when they ran the Sam F. Davis, Kinza was my best bet on this show, and she won. And now we're running the Tampa Bay Derby. Kinza's my best bet on the show. I think she's the best filly in California by far. That may not be saying a whole lot. There's not a ton of competition out there. But, to me, it's another gate to wire win here. We are stretching out. I wanted to ask you, Magic, on this. You told me going into the last race, it's like, I think a mile is going to be perfect for her. After that, I'm not quite sure. After you watch that race that happened last time out, what do you think about her going a mile and 16th today?
I think if it's a Baffert horse that's got loose front end speed and just can do what she wants early, I think it can do pretty much any distance. She could have gone a mile and a quarter that day. There's not really much in this group otherwise that seems to be tough for her right now. I'd watch the One Ultimate Authority. I think that she's not good enough to beat Kinza yet, but as they get farther along in the season, she's one to kind of watch. Pratt's going to ride that horse back. But yeah, Kinza, the mile and the 16th is really, if you watch either of her races, but especially when she tried the 2-turn mile, I think it's going to be pretty easy for her to get this distance.
Yeah, she looked better than even I thought she would last time out. And I think she was facing a better horse last time out than what she faces here. This field is sneaky. There are a few in there that might jump up and be like, okay, maybe that's a pretty nice horse. But I think Kinza's just a little better. So I'm going to go with Kinza. All right, Papa Dude, let's go to yours.
Well, I see we got a little time here. I want to ask you something.
Okay.
Rob posted, is this the COVID crop? So we're going to start blaming all the shit on COVID. I mean, did horses get COVID? I don't quite.
I mean, Baffert, to be fair, Baffert blamed Medina Spirit's disqualification on cancel culture. So I think you can say whatever the hell you want. And as long as you can find somebody to go, yeah, that sounds smart, then it suddenly takes wing.
Okay.
Yeah. I think maybe like the breeding got screwed up is probably more what he's alluding to.
Well, okay. All right. Anyway, I don't buy that at all. I'm telling you what the story is in education right now.
Okay.
Magic, you have a young one, so you might want to listen to this. Of course, it ain't going to affect yours because he wasn't in school yet. But we have a 6th grade group that I've been with now for 2 weeks. They can't read.
COVID.
They can't read. They can't write. They can't think. They can't do anything.
Well, so they lost that. They're probably
they
when
lost
they were
the whole 3 months 3 years ago.
Yeah, so they're blaming that. Yeah,
and they're still reading 3rd grade level.
I've heard this.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, but I have heard. I have heard this. Yes.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, Magic, if I was you, and if I was a parent of every kid that's getting ready to enter the school district or is in school districts now, you storm those schools and you tell them get their ass off the computers that they drag around and bring teachers back and quit letting computers teach your kid at school. That's the issue.
Yeah. Well, that started because of COVID. So that's where
right.
that
And you
got
guys
going.
got to get them off them. Listen, I'm teaching these kids. Okay. So I've given them assignments. They go on there. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to look these answers up. But no, there's a little button they can check down there and say, answer.
Right.
That's what they do. They click the little button and they put the thing in there and everybody gets them right. What did you learn? You learn how to push a little button on a computer.
Right.
Tony.
And so I banned the computers. They're having to do this on their own.
Sure, that's going well.
It's not going well at all, but they're learning a little bit. And you know what? They read better than what they're saying they read too.
I think. Well,
okay, that's enough.
Yeah, I was going to say we've solved the world problem with education. Now, tell us why Stony Brook's going to win today.
Just get your kids off computers at school. Well, here's the deal. Who was it? Kevin, was it? Wanted to know if I had a relevant game today, and I do. Stony Brook. That's right. The Sea Wolves. Now, this is one of those days where you better be careful with these mid-major tournaments. Because, guys, the pressure is on these really good teams in these mid-majors. They have to win to make the tournament. And you see those lines that are like minus 11, minus 10. Got to be careful because they are under tremendous pressure. Because if they lose, they're out. And their great season has went down the tubes. So be careful on some of these. There were ones I wanted to pull the trigger on today, but I got to thinking, I don't know. They can tighten up in these games. So be careful today. Stony Brook, I wouldn't take them. It is a tournament game. Colonial Athletic Association quarterfinal game against Northeastern, but it's only 1 point. And I don't know why it's only 1 point. They played them twice in the regular season. They thumped them both times. They're a decent team. Northeastern's 12-19. I just think this ought to be more than that. So I like them to cover that. There's a lot of really interesting games out there today. Somebody else mentioned Indiana State. If they go down, if they don't win the tournament, the Missouri Valley tournament, are they out? I think personally they should be in. I think the Missouri Valley should get 2 teams this year. So it's going to be an interesting day. Some of them are just in the quarterfinals. Some of them are in the semis. Some of them are just starting the first rounds today. And there are a few championship games today. So the mid-majors, it's going to be an interesting day to watch them. All
right. Stony Brook -1 here. And this is my this week and next weekend. That's my 2 favorite weekends for college basketball. I've always liked the conference tournaments. I don't know why, but I have. What is a Sea Wolf? I don't know.
I don't either.
I know what it is. They're kind of called like Vancouver Island is where they're native, and they're known for actually like they have their diet is almost all like fish and things that live in or near the water. They swim from island to island when they migrate, so that's why they're called sea wolves. What I don't understand is why a team that's in New York, has a mascot that is native to Vancouver. Like you're literally like coast, like you might as well be the Inuits at this point. Right. I'm like, yeah, that makes just as much sense right there. Yeah.
Is Stony Brook even on the ocean? I have no idea where it is.
It's in Stony Brook, New York. That doesn't help.
I think it may be on
I went to Google it and it said Stony Brook, New York.
Maybe it's on Long Island.
It is on Long Island, yeah.
Okay.
Well, I guess
but it's not on the ocean part. It's on like the Long Island Sound part. So they're still like not. They're on the other end of the ocean, like the side of the island from the ocean. Like it's one of the schools you pick all the time that nothing about it makes sense except picking them to win. That's the only thing that makes sense. And frankly, that's all that should matter on this show, right?
Yeah.
What time do they play today, Papa D? Do you get any idea?
I believe that's about a 1 o'clock tip-off, I think.
Okay.
6 Eastern.
6. I believe that's about a 5 o'clock tip off here in the Central Time Zone.
Dennis wants to know why he was placed in timeout. So, Dennis, I saw that you got placed in timeout. I didn't see the comment. I was like, well, what did he just say? And then Magic messaged me privately, and he goes, I meant to feature it, and I accidentally put him in timeout. So it was an accident.
Too. I was going to have to talk to both of you. You know, he is our most loyal fan, and we're banning him.
Well, I saw it come up. It's like Dennis has been banned from the chat. I was like, what did he do? I've never seen him do anything close to anything to get banned. And then I see the private message from Magic that he accidentally did it. And I was like, geez, Magic, that's awful. So. All right. Well, let's get to the best bets. Here we go. I'm going to go with Santa Anita, race 6, number 4, Kinza. Magic's going Aqueduct, race 8, number 5, Hot Fudge. And Papa Dude's going Stony Brook, the Seawolves, -1. 2 and 4 for the week. It's not going well this week, and I'm just as much to blame as anybody. First day was a horrible performance for mine, and the second day, it's like that horse has got it and just got nosed out. I mean, a great performance by both of them. Yeah, coughed it up. 2 and 4 down $225 for the week. Still up $965 for the year. There was one thing I wanted to bring up before we left, and Papa Dude, you've kind of been missing from the latest news.
Okay.
So Rob White says fade Temple, and I don't know, Magic, you've heard about this either. Pretty certain Temple's been throwing basketball games, and it came full circle too light 100% yesterday. So here's what happened. Temple, it was Temple like +2 or 2.5 for the longest time. And then yesterday afternoon, this would have been, I'm sorry, it may have been Wednesday. I think it's Thursday night. Yeah. The line went from 2 to 4 to 6 to 8. And Papa Dude, you follow these lines all day long. A 6-point swing late afternoon. You never see that, right?
No.
Yeah.
Now I thought a major star going down with injury or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And even that, you don't see 6-point swings on a mature market in the afternoon. And then you watch the game. They just get crushed. They give up 100 points. It was like 100-70, I think the score was. There's some major shenanigans going on here. It's under investigation. So yeah, I heard an interview with somebody that runs a sports book there in Atlantic City, was on VSiN yesterday. And, he basically said, I noticed it immediately. I called the authorities as quick as I could. I was taking max bets on Temple or on the whoever, I think it was UAB maybe.
Yeah, UAB.
I was like, this is crazy. This is weird. So anyway, that did go on this weekend. Keep an eye on it. I mean, this is very interesting. And as sports wagering becomes more and more legal in more and more states, these are things they've got to nip it, right? Or this whole thing's going to fall apart. So very interesting thing there. I think the good news is all of us that are gamblers saw the line movement and go, what the hell? But at least now we see it reported and we see it being investigated. So,
well, I mean, if you're a seasoned gambler, I mean, if you watch those lines like we do and you see that, you automatically have to do some homework. But if you just happen to come on that late and you were gambling late and didn't know what that line was all about, that's a different story, right?
And as Kevin says, we see movements of a point or two. I mean, that is not anything weird, right? But when you see a 7 and 8 point move in 4 hours, and again, it wasn't the line opened at 1 and they realized they made a huge mistake and then it moved to 8. No, this was a mature market. There'd been a lot of money bet on the game.
Yep.
And in the late afternoon, like I said, in a 3 or 4 hour span, it moves like that. That's crazy. But Kevin is also right. With it now being legal and with it all being kind of regulated, you are going to get more exposure because there's more and more people that are smart to it now to be like, well, I followed this for 6 months, let's say, even if you follow it 6 months. And I've never seen a line move 6 points. Even newer people would be like, well, that's nuts, right?
Yeah. So we're assuming then the Temple players are in on this?
That's the assumption. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's real simple. If they want to, you're just out. You're banned. You're done.
Yeah, I mean,
If you can prove it, you're done.
Yeah, I think you have to do that.
You don't
And
get
I
a
think,
second chance. Goodbye.
and I'm pretty sure that's what will happen if they can prove it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So lots of interesting things to kind of follow there. We'll see what happens with this. This is going to be fascinating, though, for sure.
I was reading an article. Sports Illustrated said that U.S. Integrity, which is like the watchdog group for this stuff, they've been monitoring Temple for a while now. This isn't like they suddenly went, oh, let's look at this. They've been paying attention. Temple's lost 12 of their last 15, but they're 12 and 15 against the spread. So it seems like maybe lately somebody was running up short on finishing up their tuition fees.
On that point, Magic, you're 100% correct. And the thing that they're thinking has happened as these guys have bet into the smaller, like unrecognized markets, like first half or second half, but they had never bet a full game bets until yesterday. That's speculation, but just to add to what he's saying, yes, they were being looked at, and this spiked it over the top, basically. Wow. So
maybe that's part of Temple's NIL program.
Maybe that is, and so that could be part of it as well. I don't know. When there's smoke, there's fire. There's something going on there for sure, though. So, all right, guys. That's it. We're out. We're going to leave now. Everybody have a good rest of your Saturday, Tampa Bay Derby Day. Everybody enjoy the races out at Tampa. And we'll see you right back here tomorrow for more Dudes Who Bet Daily.